Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of Abraham Lincoln. 1-cent coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1978 Lincoln penny, with its distinctive large date and lack of a mint mark, is one of the more intriguing examples from the late 20th century. While the design of the Lincoln penny remains largely the same since its introduction in 1909, this specific 1978 issue has garnered attention due to its mintage, condition, and unique market appeal. If you ever come across a 1978 Lincoln cent in rusty red color and dirty condition, don't be too quick to dismiss it. Although it may seem like a coin in poor shape, it could potentially carry a significant value depending on various factors, including its market history, rarity, and collector interest. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted during a time when the United States was facing high inflation rates. The country was transitioning into the late stages of the 1970s, a period marked by economic challenges and uncertainty. Despite this, the U.S. Mint continued its work producing a vast number of Lincoln cents each year. The total mintage of the 1978 Lincoln penny exceeded several billion coins, making it a common issue overall. In fact, around 7.7 billion of these coins were minted across various U.S. mint facilities, including those in Philadelphia and Denver. However, what sets the 1978 Lincoln penny apart from many other years is its large date variety. The large date refers to the size of the digits used in the date, which is a noticeable difference from the small date variety of the same year. Although both the small and large date versions are relatively easy to come by, the condition of the coin and the particular characteristics can make a world of difference when it comes to value. The 1978 Lincoln penny features the classic design that has become synonymous with the United States cent. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This image was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and has been used on the penny since its introduction in 1909. The inscription, "In God We Trust," is prominently displayed above Lincoln's image, with the word Liberty to the left and the year 1978 below. The large date feature is evident in the way the digits of the year stand out. On the reverse side, the familiar 1-cent inscription is surrounded by two wheat stalks. This design, which was used from 1909 until 1958, remains a symbol of American heritage, representing the country's agricultural roots. In 1959, the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, but the earlier wheat design was revived as a classic symbol that many collectors still hold dear. You might be surprised to learn that the 1978 Lincoln penny is subject to some minor minting errors that make it highly desirable among collectors. One of the most notable errors associated with the 1978 coin is the double die error, which occurs when the die used to stamp the image on the coin shifts slightly during the process. This results in some of the lettering and design details appearing more than once, creating a doubling effect. While this error is rare, it can significantly increase the value of the coin in question. However, the 1978 large date penny in a rusty red dirty condition adds another level of intrigue. Coins that are in dirty or aged condition often have a story to tell. Some collectors may seek out such pieces to examine the wear and environmental factors that have contributed to their current state. While it's true that a penny in a heavily tarnished or corroded state might not fetch the highest price, it's also important to note that some collectors are drawn to the authenticity and uniqueness of these coins. They might find that the patina-worn appearance or rusty red coloration adds character to the piece, even if it isn't in pristine condition. The market value for a 1978 Lincoln penny with a dirty, rusty red coloration can vary widely. If you're dealing with a coin that shows signs of wear and is heavily tarnished, the market price might be lower, often ranging from $19,000 depending on the severity of the damage and any errors present. On the other hand, if the coin is in better shape or carries an interesting minting error, the price could shoot up significantly. High-grade specimens of the 1978 Lincoln penny, particularly those without a mint mark, can fetch upwards of $23,000 in today's market, though this is more likely for coins in better than average condition. Collectors of Lincoln pennies are particularly interested in finding specimens from years like 1978, because these years are commonly seen as part of their complete collection. Many collectors are also looking to add varieties and error coins to their sets, making these pennies even more valuable in specialized markets. Next up, the 1966 Lincoln penny is a cornerstone of American coinage, particularly for collectors who focus on minting varieties and errors. While this coin, like the 1978 penny, might seem relatively unremarkable at first glance, there are subtle features and historical significance that make it a desirable piece in numismatic circles. In this section, we will explore the market value, design features, and overall significance of the 1966 Lincoln penny in fine condition, especially in its large date variety without a mint mark. The 1960s were a transformative decade for the United States, marked by significant social, political, and cultural changes. Coinage, as always, was influenced by these shifts, with the mint working to meet the needs of the growing population and the increasing demand for coinage due to economic conditions. In 1966, the U.S. Mint produced over 3.8 billion Lincoln pennies. While these numbers are high, certain variations in design and minting errors make particular years, like 1966, more valuable in certain conditions. The 1966 Lincoln penny saw the introduction of the large date variety, which became a defining feature for some collectors. The large date is characterized by noticeably larger digits in the year, a feature that has fascinated numismatists for years. It's also important to note that the coin was struck without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is the main U.S. mint facility responsible for most circulating coins. The design of the 1966 Lincoln penny remains consistent with the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by Victor David Brenner. The portrait is simple yet iconic, capturing Lincoln's features with a sense of dignity and strength. On the reverse, the wheat stalk design continues to be a popular feature for many collectors. However, what sets the 1966 penny apart from earlier designs is the large date feature, which visually distinguishes this penny from other years and varieties. Unlike earlier, smaller dates, the larger numerals were used in 1966 to better align with the minting technology of the time. The date is noticeably more prominent, and the large date variety was created due to a change in the master dies used for minting. This variety became a key marker for collectors who sought out specific years and design features to complete their sets. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1966 penny is the potential for minting errors. While the large date variety itself is highly sought after, errors such as double dies or off-center strikes can drive the value even higher. These errors are relatively rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. A double die coin, where the image appears slightly misaligned due to a malfunction during the die creation, can dramatically increase the coin's worth. In certain cases, a 1966 penny with errors could be worth $40,000. Collectors are also drawn to the fine condition of the coin. While many 1966 pennies circulated widely and show heavy wear, those in better condition, particularly those without significant signs of corrosion, scratches, or discoloration, are valuable. A well-preserved fine example of the 1966 Lincoln penny might fetch anywhere from $50,000 with higher prices for well-struck or error variants. The 1966 Lincoln penny, particularly the large date variety in fine condition, holds substantial value in today's market due to its historical context, unique design, and minting errors. While it's far from being a rare coin, its collector interest has only grown over the years, and it remains a popular item for those building a collection of Lincoln pennies. Whether you're hunting for the next great find or just interested in the fascinating history behind these coins, the 1966 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even seemingly mundane pieces of currency can hold immense value to the right collector. Next up, the 1970 Abraham Lincoln. 1-cent coin holds particular significance in the world of numismatics. As one of the key dates in the Lincoln series, this coin is often considered one of the most intriguing, especially in its unique large date variety. Released as part of the larger series of Lincoln pennies, this coin would have circulated during a time of change in the United States. The year 1970 was an important one in American history, marked by pivotal social, political, and economic events. It was a year still influenced by the 1960s cultural revolutions, and the United States was navigating the complex climate of the Vietnam War, civil rights movements, and societal changes. Economically, the country was grappling with inflation and other challenges that would ultimately shape the U.S. Mint's decisions moving forward. It was during this year that the U.S. Mint produced a series of Lincoln cents, and the coin we're discussing today is part of that series. However, what makes this particular coin rare and valuable is the way it has aged and its strikingly unusual condition, which deviates from the standard minting of its time. The 1970 Lincoln cent, like all Lincoln cents since 1909, features the obverse image of President Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. However, the design of the coin was slightly altered in 1959, with a new portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, which remains the image most collectors recognize today. The reverse of the 1970 coin features the traditional wheat ears, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, remained on the reverse until 1958, after which the Lincoln Memorial was introduced. However, the coin we're discussing here, due to the aging process, exhibits characteristics that make it stand out far beyond its original production. A coin in rusty black color and dirty condition is usually something collectors might shy away from. However, in this case, it has gained collector interest due to its unusual patina and appearance. This rust-colored black patina suggests the coin may have been exposed to environmental elements that have altered its surface over time. While some may view this as a detraction, others appreciate the coin's unique visual aesthetic. The corrosion of a coin's surface over time is sometimes seen as evidence of its journey through history, and coins that bear the marks of age and wear are often valued for their storytelling aspects. Now, when it comes to its market value, the 1970 Lincoln cent in this condition can fetch a surprisingly high price, especially in the context of auctions where condition, rarity, and unique features are highly prized. The market for coins in such a condition can vary, but collectors willing to take on a coin with character may find themselves paying a significant premium. In an auction market, a 1970 Lincoln cent in this rusty, black, and dirty condition could range anywhere from $100,000 to several thousand, depending on the coin's grade and how it's presented. If the coin has error characteristics, such as a misstrike, double die, or other variations, its value can increase even further. While many collectors might prefer coins in pristine condition, the value of coins that tell a story through their wear and tear has been rising. Those interested in coins with historical significance often find that coins with unusual patinas, rust marks, or wear patterns offer a glimpse into the coin's past. The 1970 Lincoln cent, in its rusty black color and dirty condition, tells such a story, appealing to collectors who appreciate these aging features. Errors, however, play a major role in the demand for this coin. If the 1970 coin has been subjected to any form of minting error or unique strike, collectors are willing to pay premium prices. So, collectors looking for this particular coin will want to focus on any distinguishing characteristics that set it apart from a standard, clean 1970 cent. Next up, the 1980 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin. We see a coin that shares similarities with the 1970 penny in terms of its color and condition, yet differs in its design and place in the historical timeline. The 1980 Lincoln cent continues the long tradition of the Abraham Lincoln series, which was first minted in 1909. The 1980 coin, like its predecessors, features the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the reverse wheat ears, although by this time the Lincoln Memorial design had already replaced the wheat ears on the reverse. The year 1980 was a period of economic upheaval in the United States. The country was facing a major recession, marked by soaring inflation, high unemployment, and rising oil prices. The U.S. government responded to these challenges with a series of fiscal and monetary policies. The coinage produced during this time reflects a sense of financial instability but also resilience. The 1980 Lincoln cent, while perhaps not as historically significant as some other issues, nevertheless remains a key coin in the ongoing legacy of the Lincoln series. For collectors, its significance lies not only in the year of production, but in the way it has aged and how its wear has enhanced its visual appeal. The obverse of the 1980 Lincoln cent remains consistent with the design that was introduced in 1959, featuring an updated image of Lincoln by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, which has been the standard reverse design since 1959. This design, too, was created by Frank Gasparo and would remain on the reverse of the Lincoln cent until 2008, when it was replaced by the shield design. Much like the 1970 coin, the 1980 cent has a large date, which is an important feature to note for collectors. The large date variety was made during a time when there were fluctuations in minting techniques, and certain characteristics of the coin, such as the size of the numbers, became a distinguishing factor for collectors. The rusty, black, and dirty condition of this 1980 coin makes it a rarity for several reasons. While most 1980 Lincoln cents are found in average to good condition, this particular coin shows signs of wear and environmental exposure that have turned its surface into a darkened, rust-like patina. The unique appearance of this coin, as with the 1970 cent, appeals to collectors who see its imperfections as a point of interest rather than a flaw. The environmental exposure that caused this coin's rusty black color could be a result of exposure to moisture, dirt, or even pollutants. Such features make this coin stand out among its counterparts, especially since many 1980 pennies remain in relatively good or even uncirculated condition. As for its market value, the 1980 Lincoln cent in rusty black and dirty condition also commands a premium in auctions, although its value may vary more widely than the 1970 cent due to its relatively more recent minting. Depending on the severity of the dirt and the presence of any potential errors or variations, prices can range from $59,000. For coins with particular errors or misprints, such as a doubled die or die crack, the value could skyrocket beyond that. Collectors of the Lincoln cent series are particularly interested in coins with unique characteristics such as this one. Coins with distinctive coloration or wear patterns tell the story of a coin's journey, making them more appealing to collectors who appreciate the history behind each piece. Next up, the 1974 Lincoln cent is a key player in the history of U.S. coinage, striking a pivotal moment in the early 1970s. In the context of U.S. history, the mid-1970s were marked by inflation, rising production costs, and a significant shift in the design of the nation's coinage. While Abraham Lincoln, of course, has been the face of the penny since 1909, the 1974 coin continued his legacy in a rapidly changing economic landscape. The 1974 large date cent was produced amidst a shift in coin production methods as the U.S. Mint began adjusting to rising costs and a higher volume of production. However, it was the 1974 Lincoln cent's large date variety that garnered particular attention from collectors. These large date pennies were struck in significant numbers, but there's still a distinction in how collectors view them, depending on their condition and any specific errors associated with them. The 1974 Lincoln cent retained the traditional design featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, which was originally designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This image, with its characteristic profile of Lincoln, has become an iconic symbol of the United States. On the reverse side, the familiar 1 cent inscription along with the wheat ears on either side remained unchanged. The large date refers to a noticeable difference in the size of the numbers on the coin's date. This variance is due to a change in the punch used to strike the coin. For the 1974 pennies, the mint used a larger die for some of the coins, resulting in a more noticeable date. The large date coins stand out more when compared to the regular-sized date coins of the same year. In circulated condition, these coins generally show wear but are still sought after due to the distinctiveness of the large date and the fact that they were part of a transition in the mint's production process during a pivotal time in U.S. history. The mintage for the 1974 Lincoln penny was exceptionally high, with billions of coins struck that year. However, despite this high mintage, certain coins like those with the large date are more highly prized. Minting numbers for the 1974 large date penny, in particular, exceeded expectations, with millions produced, yet some still remain scarce due to their specific die variety. Though there was a larger circulation of 1974 pennies overall, collectors are keenly interested in locating those with the large date because of their distinction. While it wasn't a rare error, it's still a noteworthy feature for those wanting to complete a collection. As with many coins, the 1974 Lincoln penny wasn't immune to errors. Some pennies produced that year were struck with double dies, creating an effect that is often sought after by collectors. In addition to the large date variety, these errors, especially in uncirculated or high-grade conditions, significantly drive up the value of the coin. Collectors of U.S. coins tend to focus on these unique features: the 1974 large date variety, and any potential errors such as double dies or off-center strikes. These errors, coupled with the large date feature, have made the 1974 Lincoln penny highly collectible. Many collectors are particularly interested in examples with very few visible signs of wear. If a 1974 large date penny is found in higher grades, such as AU, about uncirculated or MS mint, state its value in the market can be notably higher. The value for a 1974 Lincoln cent with a large date and without a mint mark varies based on the specific condition. For a circulated example, its worth may be modest, but a pristine, uncirculated specimen with high-grade conditions could fetch a significantly higher price at auction. In today's auction market, a circulated 1974 large-date Lincoln penny without a mint mark typically holds modest value, often ranging from a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on its condition. However, coins in uncirculated or higher grades can command prices well beyond this range, potentially reaching $10,000 or more, particularly if they're in exceptional condition. Next up, the 1965 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin was struck during a period of immense change in U.S. coinage history. This year marked the end of the traditional 90% silver composition for coins like the quarter, half dollar, and dime, replaced with a clad composition. The change was made in response to a nationwide coin shortage due to the rising costs of silver. Although the penny remained copper in composition, the year 1965 stood as a transitionary time for U.S. minting, and thus, the 1965 Lincoln cent holds special historical significance. Unlike the large-scale changes that other denominations saw, the penny remained mostly unchanged, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait still the central design. However, the coinage landscape itself was changing as the mint adjusted to the new demand for non-silver coins. The design of the 1965 Lincoln cent follows the same iconic format as previous years, with Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse featuring two stalks of wheat, a design that was used from 1909 to 1958. However, after 1958, the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. The 1965 penny did not yet feature this redesign, so collectors sometimes group it with other classic pennies featuring the wheat ears design. The large date on the 1965 coin is an interesting feature, as the mint began to produce coins with larger numbers due to new dies that were used to strike the coins. While the large date variation was common for pennies of the 1970s, it was also present in the 1965 production, although less widely noted. However, the coins in dirty or circulated conditions like this one will often be less prized by collectors looking for pristine examples. In 1965, billions of pennies were minted, with a significant number being distributed to the public. This high mintage means that while the coin is not considered rare in and of itself, the specific features of certain coins, such as the large date or unique die variations, can make them particularly interesting to collectors. As a result, the 1965 large date pennies remain highly collectible, and those that are well preserved tend to be more valuable. Those that have seen more circulation, and particularly those in dirty or worn conditions, may not see as much collector interest as their well-kept counterparts, but they still hold appeal for certain collectors looking to find rare examples within their collections. Despite the 1965 penny's relatively high mintage, its value in today's market is still influenced by its condition. A 1965 penny in dirty or circulated condition may only be worth face value, though any unique features, like the large date, can drive its value up slightly. It's not uncommon for such coins to see bids around $33,200 in auction environments, but the true market value often depends on its overall grade and appeal to collectors. Next up, the 1971 Abraham Lincoln. 1 cent coin with a large date and D mint mark is a key player in the world of Lincoln cent collectors, especially in circulated condition. To understand its value today, we need to look at the context of the year, the unique characteristics of this coin, and why collectors are so interested in it. First off, let's take a look at the historical backdrop of 1971. The U.S. was going through significant transitions in the early 1970s. Under the leadership of President Richard Nixon, the country had just ended the gold standard in 1971, marking a significant shift in monetary policy. The country was also deeply engaged in the Vietnam War, and these were turbulent times economically. The government began taking steps to curb inflation, and the penny, while still a widely used coin, was going through changes as part of the evolving economy. The United States Mint produced millions of 1 cent coins in 1971, but the large date variety stands out. The large date refers to the size of the digits on the coin, particularly the one in the year 1971. Coin collectors have long debated the exact reasons for this variation, though it is most often linked to a change in the dies used for production. This large date version was produced alongside the small date version, and although both were released into circulation, the large date variety became the most widely produced and recognized. The mintage of the 1971 Lincoln cent with a large date and a D mint mark was substantial. The total production at the Denver Mint for 1971 was over 2 billion coins, which means that this coin isn't exactly rare in terms of quantity. However, rarity isn't always about how many coins are produced. It's about the coin's condition, market demand, and collector interest. In circulated condition, the 1971 Lincoln cent can still command attention because of its historical significance, its unique large date design, and its role in the shift of U.S. coinage during the early 70s. The market value of the 1971 Lincoln cent with a large date and D mint mark in circulated condition typically falls within the range of $17,000. This price range can vary depending on the level of wear and tear on the coin, but a well-maintained example could fetch more in an auction setting. The value can rise dramatically if the coin is in higher grades, especially in mint state condition, where prices can reach $20,000 or more. It's important to note that the 1971 Lincoln cent does not contain any significant errors or defects that add extra value. However, the sheer quantity of these coins that were made, combined with their historical role in U.S. coinage, has helped them hold their value. Collectors look for coins in better-than-average circulated condition, as these coins have higher desirability in the market. The design of the 1971 Abraham Lincoln 1 cent coin is iconic. The obverse features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. The image of Lincoln has become one of the most recognizable representations of a president in U.S. coinage history. Brenner's design was first introduced in 1909, and it has been used on the Lincoln cent ever since. On the reverse, you'll see the famous wheat ears, symbolizing the agricultural success of the U.S. and the importance of wheat to the nation's economy. The 1971 version of the coin did not introduce any significant changes to the design, but the large date variety does give it a unique feature that makes it easy for collectors to identify when comparing to other years. The large date itself, when observed closely, shows larger, bolder numerals than the small date variety. This distinction is critical for collectors who are focused on distinguishing the two types and seeking the more popular large date variety. One key point to understand about the 1971 Lincoln cent with a large date and D mint mark is that it doesn't contain any major errors. While the coin is an interesting variety due to its large date feature, the value doesn't spike because of any unique minting mistakes like those we see with some other coins. That being said, there are some minor imperfections that collectors sometimes look for, such as die cracks or off-center strikes, which can add a little extra appeal to the coin. The main factor driving collector interest in this coin is its connection to the overall history of U.S. coinage during a period of transition. The change in the size of the digits in the year 1971 gives the coin a special place in numismatic history. Coins with unusual features or those linked to historical moments always attract a certain level of interest from collectors who want to own a piece of U.S. history. So, while this coin might not break the bank, it's a highly collectible piece for anyone who enjoys the history of U.S. currency and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. In fact, if you have one of these coins in your collection, next up, we have the 1972 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin with a D mint mark. But this one has a bit of a twist. It's in a rusty red color, with a dirty condition that adds character to its appearance. The 1972 Lincoln cent is one of the most interesting varieties because of the rust red hue that can form on the coin's surface over time. Let's take a deeper look at this coin's features, its market value, and why collectors find it so intriguing. The 1972 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin was released during the second year of the 1970s, a time when the U.S. economy was still grappling with inflation and the end of the gold standard. The coin itself, however, doesn't carry any monumental changes or historical shifts like the 1971 Lincoln cent. Instead, the 1972 issue became known for the quality of the minting process and the condition of the coins released into circulation. Unlike the 1971 large date coin, the 1972 version is often associated with a specific problem that affected certain coins. A production flaw that caused some to become overly worn and appear with a rust-like discoloration. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce high quantities of the Lincoln cent, but the quality control was not always perfect. As a result, many of these coins ended up with surface issues, including discoloration due to corrosion or exposure to environmental elements. This rust red color is sometimes seen on 1972 coins, especially those in dirty or lower-grade conditions. While these discolorations may be off-putting for some, others find them intriguing because they give the coin a unique, almost mysterious appearance. The 1972 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark was produced in extremely high numbers, with over 4 billion coins minted. This makes the 1972 cent one of the most common coins from the era. However, the value of this coin can increase significantly depending on its condition and the way it is aged. In dirty or rusty red condition, these coins are generally worth slightly more than face value, especially in auctions where collectors are seeking out distinctive or unusual examples. Typically, the value for a 1972 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark in a dirty or rusty red condition is about $51,000, though some coins in slightly better condition could fetch a bit more. However, despite its relatively high mintage and often damaged condition, the rust red color and the overall uniqueness of the coin still draw collectors to it. In better condition, or if the coin features a unique error, the value can increase. Some of these coins have even been sold for upwards of $57,000 in certain auction settings. However, it's important to note that a significant price increase usually requires that the coin be in decent shape overall, despite the discoloration. Just like the 1971 Lincoln cent, the design of the 1972 cent follows the same familiar pattern. The obverse of the coin showcases a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse features the iconic wheat ears. The design is elegant and timeless, a tribute to the 16th President of the United States. The 1972 coin also followed the traditional design of the Lincoln cent, with no major changes or redesigns. However, the most striking feature of this particular coin is its coloring and overall condition. The rusty red color that forms over time is a result of environmental exposure, typically from being in circulation for many years. The D mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, is located just below Lincoln's bust, as is customary on Lincoln cents minted in Denver. While the 1972 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark in rusty red condition isn't an error coin, collectors are still drawn to it due to its unique visual appeal. Coins that exhibit unusual aging, like discoloration, can be considered oddities in the numismatic world, and some collectors specifically seek out coins with these types of features. The 1972 coin in this condition can be seen as a curiosity, with a certain level of charm that comes from its long circulation and the effects of time. Error collectors might be less interested in this coin, as it does not contain any notable minting mistakes. However, those who appreciate the rustic and weathered look will find this coin highly collectible. The general interest in these coins is driven by their unique color and texture, with some seeing them as a piece of history that has experienced the passage of time in a way that adds to their character.